while the session was happening, you were answering. I think we are very good in handling social media thing, responding some of the answers. Yeah.
Those on YouTube won't be able to enter the breakout rooms. And
yes,
Facebook
yes,
will be able to do that. So let's maybe mention that. Okay.
That's fine, I guess. It's okay.
Yeah.
Where is the presentation? Okay, good morning, everyone. I think we'll start. It's 10:50. People can log in. NEEP Academy welcomes you all to the second day of our SIPSA and to a very relevant topic of discussion today, learning outside of the box. Moving from traditional classroom models to a more collaborative model for learning. I'm Kalpita Jain, PYP Head, NEEP Academy North Campus, and it's my great honor to present today's session leader, Tanya Mansfield. Along with my colleague Sindhuja, we are supporting Tanya in this breakout session, and which is very interactive. So look forward to the session. Everybody knows Tanya, so a little more about her. So Tanya has been a leading IB practitioner, instructional leader, IB workshop leader, school visitor team leader, IB consultant, and IB reader. She's also an active member of BQC team, coach, mentor, mother, wife, a sports person who also advocates how to balance personal and work life. She's currently a PYP coordinator and a learning and teaching leader at the International School of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Over the past 21 years, she has been involved in teacher training, coaching, and mentoring in different countries like Hong Kong, New Zealand, Cambodia, China, Middle East, Vietnam, and has been an IB educator for 18 years. Her education philosophy states that the foundation of any education institution is the people. And she strongly believes that building positive relationship ensures that everyone within the learning community feels valued and respected. At NEEV, we had an opportunity where she had conducted many education workshops for our educators to enhance our practices. To know more about her blog and more about her professional website, please visit www.tanyamansfield.com. Before handing over to Tanya, some of the basic housekeeping rules which are mentioned here in the slide. Please stay on mute when the session is on. Session will last for 90 minutes and we will have question and answer 10 minutes before the session. Share your question answers on the chat box during the Q&A session. Session is being recorded and it will be shared with you all. You can write to Tanya on her email ID here. You can also find us on the social media handle mentioned here to share your experience about SAIPSA. Now, without wasting any more time, I will hand over to Tanya. Tanya, welcome to this session and again, welcome again to NEEV Academy.
Thank you so much and for that warm welcome and introduction there. And good morning, everyone, and namaste. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to SAIPSA for all of their coordination organization and especially the people at NEEV Academy. I, as with you, wish we were all there face to face, but just talking the amount of work and coordination and collaboration in making this happen this weekend has been outstanding. So thank you to all for the learning experiences, and the numbers of attendees have been incredible, which just shows how much work has been appreciated and all. So I'm just going to share my screen here with you, if you just bear with me. This one here. And we will go through. It is also very nice to be able to see faces rather than me talking into the void, which is a bit fun. Right. Peter, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? It is all okay? Fantastic. Thanks very much. And I will start from there. Oops. If not from there, I will go back. Nope. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing because it started on the wrong slide. Let's go back to the top and go to, here we go. Beg your pardon. Here we go. And zoom and share. There we go. First lessons learned. I need an 8-year-old in the room with me. There we go. All right. So today's session, sorry, Kapita has given myself an introduction. I am currently in Vietnam. My role here is PYP coordinator. We work across our primary school. We have over 700 children in our primary school, but we are a 3-program school with our secondary just down the road there. So as Kapita says, I have been working in international education in Asia for about 20 years and 18 of them in the PYP. And I just saw my old friend, sorry, Anu is here. So hi, Anu, so lovely to connect with you again. We used to work together in Shanghai, and this is the beauty of us connecting here through too. So this year has all been about COVID. Unfortunately, it has been a game changer for all of us. There have been so many challenges and opportunities that we have had to face and go through. It has been a time of evaluating, recreating, and rethinking our paradigms, our pedagogical practice, and our approaches to teaching and learning. It has been a year, especially for those in India, a time for unlearning and relearning for all of us, whether we be leaders or teachers or students or parents. It's also been a time where our roles in education have changed. Parents have taken on some of the teaching role, and us teachers have had to support them as well as their children, as we've had to take on roles as tech experts or movie makers or performers, counselors, and tech coaches, and supporting our whole community. But I do think that these different roles have brought us together as a community. They've allowed us to have a little bit of empathy for each other's context and the challenges that we're all facing. And that has made us being stronger learning communities of care and compassion and building an empathy and appreciation for each other. It also helps us to understand the strengths that we all bring to this situation and really growing those partnerships and learning as a community. COVID has also shown us that how important socialization is, how important it is to collaborate, and really how to rethink and reimagine things as we adjust things for the best of our learners. So today's session is Think Outside the Box. How can we take those lessons learned and actually start imagining what if? So the structure of today's workshop is a little bit different. Those of you that know me well and have had me in workshops before, you know I love the interaction, people collaborating and talking and sharing ideas and perspectives. And we will be doing that today over these 90 sessions through breakout rooms. We have at the moment about 250 people online with us. Welcome. So we will be doing the same. And I hope you're all comfortable at the moment and have your coffees or teas. Don't get too comfortable, because actually I will be asking you to interact, to brainstorm, to create, and to think what if. And I will be asking you to do some of the thinking and sharing of your thoughts and ideas. Now, I do understand that this is a little ambitious, trying to get nearly 300 plus of us, but I do believe in us, and I believe in the process, and I believe that we all have aligned all these wonderful educators who have this wonderful creativity and are able to support this learning for all with us. So those of you joining us on YouTube and Facebook, I apologize. You won't be able to interact within the breakout rooms, but if you wanted to, then please go in and find the link for the session and you can join us as we go through there. All right. So we will be using throughout the session also, also a number of platforms, which I will present in a minute for you so that we know again. But first of all, let's go to one of our favorites. And Anita said last night that he was one of her favorites too, Ken Robinson. And let's consider our education systems and our structures and the routines that we have there. This clip is from an RSA video talk from 2010 on his paradigm of education. So let me just go to that for you. We won't watch the whole thing. If you want to re-familiarize yourself and watch the whole thing, it is available on YouTube under RSA. So here we go.
Side of themselves. The model we have is this. I believe we have a system of education that is modeled on the interests of industrialism and in the image of it. I'll give you a couple of examples. Schools are still pretty much organized on factory lines, so ringing bells, separate facilities, specialized into separate subjects. We still educate children by batches. You know, we put them through the system by age group. Why do we do that? You know, why is there this assumption that the most important thing kids have in common is how old they are? You know, it's like the most important thing about them is their date of manufacture. What do you mean? Well, I know kids who are much better than other kids at the same age in different disciplines, you know, or at different times of the day, or better in smaller groups than in large groups, or sometimes they want to be on their own. If you're interested in the model of learning, you don't start from this production line mentality. It's essentially about conformity, and increasingly it's about that as you look at the growth of standardized testing and standardized curricula. And it's about standardization. I believe we've got to go in the exact opposite direction. That's what I mean about changing the paradigm.
Right, so in the words of Sir Ken Robinson, we do need to be changing the paradigm. We do need to be thinking outside the box. And this message is not new. The problem we continue to face is that we continue to keep trying to meet the future by doing what we've always done in the past. And so our traditional practices actually are not aligning with our current beliefs and values. So we know that through research that most great learning happens in groups when collaboration is full of the stuff of growth. And yet we keep insisting on separating our learners and having individual desks, individual tasks, and individual judgments and scores. We know that our learners best learn in authentic real-world learning environments, and yet we create divides. We have all learning within the same four walls of the same classroom all year long. And although we have opportunities to connect with nature in the real world, they tend to be restricted to one-off occasions or to field trips. We know that we learn best from those that inspire us, and those that have similar passions, and those that have a variety of experts. And yet our traditional model has one teacher, one adult working with 20 to 30 children. We value inquiry, and we understand the inquiry is messy and it takes time. And yet we insist on timetables, on dividing our day into chunks, on switching our disciplines throughout the day, and on using bells. And we know that learning is not linear. We know it happens across phases, across stages, and that we all learn in different ways at different times and at different paces. And yet we insist on organizing our schools in batches, or as Ken Robinson says, by the age of our manufacturer. So this quote is from Harari from 2015 from his book, A Brief History of Tomorrow. And we as educators, as we're supporting our learners and preparing them for what tomorrow may bring, really do have a responsibility to reinvent ourselves, our practice, our pedagogy, and our approach to teaching and learning. So today is about what if. We will be exploring those big questions of what if. What if we thought outside the box? What if we reconsidered our practices? What if we just took a chance? We just had a go. If we just were creative and brave and collaborative? And what if we truly put our learners first and revisited and realigned with our beliefs and our values as PYP schools? So the hope for today, this 90 minutes here, is that we will finish as a group with a huge bank of thinking, a huge amount of resources of perspectives, and those that we can take back to our learning communities ourselves and either model this process that I'm about to lead you through, or just actually share some of the thinking and again, ask your communities at home, what if we do that? Even if you walk away with one idea that you might make a change in your classrooms, it's worth it. And we all have to start with just one. And that is okay. We're not expecting to change the paradigm in the whole model thing there. So we are going to be using what we call blue sky thinking. And I have come up with some provocations for us as a group to consider. Some are quite radical, some maybe not so radical. We're going to start gently. And that's going to help us. And I'm looking at the numbers here. We're very close to 300. Really using that collective creativity to start thinking outside the box and what if. Now, to support our thinking, we're going to go back to an old favorite of De Bono's thinking hats. These have been used in classrooms for many, many years. They do need to be explicitly taught to children as we introduce them. And I have seen in classrooms where they actually physically have the hat and the child is wearing the hat and is able to really focus the conversation and focus the discussion there. But today, rather than using all the hats, we're going to focus on just two. We're going to focus on our yellow hat, the benefits. The yellow hat looks at the positives and our plus points. The yellow hat, you're focusing on why it will work, why it is useful. And we're giving logical reasons as to why it will work, those positive reasons. The yellow hat helps us focus on who this idea will benefit and why. And really that wonderful thing of what's the best thing that could happen when we put that yellow hat on. Using the hat, focus the conversations and the protocols involved in this thinking really does support to generate those ideas. Our black hat allows us to put that critical lens on. It's a little bit of caution. Focuses a little bit, but actually what are the difficulties? What could go wrong? What are our concerns? Wearing the black hat may highlight the risks, and we'll have to consider, but actually who would this impact? Who would this affect and how? With the black hat on, we too give logical reasons. And the black hat, then we go down the other end of the scale. What is the worst thing that could happen? So having those two hats there to frame our thinking today, as we move forward and try and work out what if we go forward. So as with anything, using our protocols as well to help organize our discussions. So we'll be using these protocols today, and the first one is slightly different as we go through there. When we go into our breakout rooms, you'll be going in for 8 minutes. And thank you to the host that's supporting the breakout room organization here. Throughout the time, we will hopefully be visiting 5 breakout rooms, but we will see how time goes. And we might cut that back for 4 to allow for questions and answers at the end. So as you head to the breakout room, you should meet about 8 people there. So just take a quick minute to introduce yourself, of who you are, where you are, and maybe where you teach in the school. And then consider the provocation question. Now, I will be showing these provocations again for you, so you don't have to remember all this now. We will lead you through it for. Then, if you can do 3 minutes, just focusing on the yellow hat thinking, focusing on those positives, you as a team, that wonderful conversation there. And then the host is going to help me, and we're going to put into chat room some little broadcasts to remind you that now's the time for the next 3 minutes to change to your critical lens, the what if, for the black hat there. The final minute and a half is time to document your thoughts and thinking. Now, not everyone in your breakout room will need to do this. You can just ask somebody, or somebody can put their hand up. They can volunteer or be voluntold to add things, because that way we as a collaborative here of 300 learners can actually benefit from all of our thinking. And I'm sure there will be something there that we can all take away from and go through there. So the different platforms, as well as having these provocations, and we're having the different breakout rooms, we're also going to be using different platforms to document and share our learning. Some of these you will be very familiar with, so there won't be such of a learning curve for you to use there, but I've tried to introduce a couple of new ones to here too. So Google Forms, there will be from one provocation 2 Google Forms, and we will put all these links in the chat room for you and your breakout rooms. So one Google form will be there to record the yellow hat thinking, and one Google form will be there to share your black hat thinking. We have slides. So there's a series of slides there. Again, one set of slides to record the black hat thinking, and one set of slides to record the yellow hat thinking. There is Padlet. Padlet, we're using the post notes function on Padlet. Again, 2 Padlet links, one for yellow hat and one for black hat. So in fact, when you do go into your breakout groups and you nominate someone to record your thinking, you could have one doing your yellow hat thinking and one doing your black hat thinking, okay? And going through from there. We will also hopefully be using Flipgrid through a little video recorder. This is a wonderful tool that's been used in classrooms, and I talked about it last night. It was a fantastic way to interact with actually a face on your screen, whether it was in real time or not. And also one that I've recently been introduced is Miro. And Miro is a wonderful way for design thinking and creative thinking. And as we hit Miro, I will take a little bit of time to show you how to use it. It is quite easy. You can't break it. But again, it's a lovely base for us to be doing something online here. So this quote is from Charles Yidan, the founder of the Yidan Prize, and basically saying it is time for us to rethink. We have to rethink how we are educating our children, why we are educating the way we are, and we really do need to think our practice. So here we go, and I'm crossing everything to hope this works. So this is our first provocation. What if? What if we took away the teacher desk? Now, some of you may have already done this, but some, maybe this is the scariest idea you've ever heard. What if we took away the teacher desk? As we go into our breakout rooms, we'll be using Google Form to record our thinking. And I think there's maybe 4 or 5 opportunities on each Google Form for your group to record your thinking. And I have also shared with you the resource, so you can go into the resource itself to see everybody else's thinking that go through there. So just to remind you of, and we will share these 2 links. You don't have to remember them or write them down. We will share them in the chat for you. Okay. So just to remind you of the protocols as we go into our first one. As it is our first one, do take a quick minute to say hello and introduce yourself and who and where and what. And then consider the provocation question, which is, what if we took away the teacher desk? Focus your first 3 minutes on the positives, and then the broadcaster will remind you to please change to a critical lens and look through the black hat lens there. And then take the last minute and 30 to one or two of you to go on the Google form and record your thinking there. I hopefully will be popping into a couple of the breakout rooms to support you. There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. It is about that what if thinking, that blue sky thinking. What would happen if we took the teacher desk away? All right, so here is the repetition of the provocation. And I'm going to ask our host now I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And I'm going to ask our host now to organize the breakout rooms for us. There you go. And I've got an invitation myself, so they should be here. And I will add also Hi, those that are joining us, we've just gone to breakout rooms. So our host is trying to assign breakout rooms so you can join the conversation here now.
Please accept the request, Ms. Manveen. Already shared the request with you. Please join the breakout room. Miss, you're on mute.
Apologies for the delay, but there was nobody other than myself in the breakout room.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'll... Okay,
If you could
just...
assign another breakout room, it would be nice.
Sure.
For me also, I'm Swapna. Can you give a breakout room for me?
Sure. It's just that people are taking some time to join the room. Can you please tell me your room number, Miss Manveen?
Mine was 23. Could you please send me the link again? 23.
23, there are 4 people in the room.
Just one Miss Butul couldn't answer, but if
Okay.
you could send me the link.
Sure, sure. I'm just moving you to another room. Miss Swapna, can you please let me know your room so that I'll be able to swap you?
I think it is 13.
13?
Yes.
Just a minute. Miss, there are already 4 in the room. Can you join the same room?
Where is the link actually? How can I join there? I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. I'm moving you into another room. You can join there.
Okay. Where are
Yeah.
the Google Forms link?
In the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm unable to see the Google Form link in my breakout room chat, Ms. Tanya. So how do I get to it?
I will go again for you, add it again.
Yes, same here. I can't see the links in the chat.
I can see the links in the chat box of both yellow hat and black hat, but not the how will I go to the room number 23?
Room number 23. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Hi, Sindhuja.
Yes,
Sorry, I've been, I've come back to the main session. This is happening twice for me. So, not able to figure out what exactly the problem is. It's room 19.
Hi.
We are back. Yeah.
If you put the links in the breakout room broadcast, we are unable to copy it from there. So if you can put it in the main chat, we'll be able to kind of copy it from the main chat.
Yeah, I put it in the main chat for you all.
Thank you.
Can we close the breakout rooms now? Can we welcome everyone back?
Yes, we have the same problem, Tanya, that we couldn't access the Google form.
Yes, the same with our breakout room.
Maybe we'll put the link in the chat box.
I have, but something's gone. That's okay. We will get there. We get there. Okay, everyone, welcome back. And thank you for your patience. Some people were struggling to get into break rooms, which was why that was a little bit of a test to make sure everyone was comfortable there. And some people couldn't see the chat as they were in the break room. So we've added the links again to the chat room here. So just have a quick look there, and I can see some of the results are coming in now. People are doing well to enter some of their black hat and yellow hat thinking. Well done.
Tanya, we were not able to open the link in from the broadcast message.
Yes, I think the broadcast message is as it is. It's just a broadcast, so you need to go to the chat to get the link itself.
But it's not there. Is it there on the chat? Because I can't. We can't see it.
Three times. Maybe just scroll up and down.
Even I'm not able to. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
just now we got it. Got it.
Same here.
Okay. There is a lot of chat. Maybe as we're working together with 300 people, keep the chat at the moment just for us, and then later we will do the question and answers, and we'll open up in that way. That will help the traffic, and then people won't have to scroll all the way through there. Okay. And as I say, we're working this out together, and this was just, I knew people knew how to use a Google form, and the link was there. And I can see some people have managed it well. So thank you very much for your thinking. And we do need to be brave. Turn your cameras on when you're in your breakout rooms and your microphone. It is supposed to be a discussion and things there. All right, so I'm going to go back to my presentation. You should be seeing my screen here now, looking at the teacher desk. So what if we didn't have a teacher desk? Here now, looking at the teacher desk. So what if we didn't have a teacher desk? Looking at the teacher desk. So what if we didn't have a teacher desk? Okay, I was hearing myself in a bit of a delay there, so I've come back. This is a very traditional type of teacher desk. I don't imagine our current teacher desks are like this, but what will happen, there are a number of us that we have done away with the teacher desk for a while, but we all work in different contexts. You know, some of us work in a middle school or a high school context. Some of us work in an early years context. Some, to be honest, this is not our decision. Our leaders and our administrators are insisting on not having a teacher desk, but doing some research and asking others around, like, what would be the benefits of getting rid of that teacher desk? And that, when we talk about the teacher desk, it can be the desk as a piece of furniture, or it can be the desk as in something that we're holding on to, an idea there. Now, one of the things we're always challenged with is space within our classrooms. You know, this piece of furniture is stuck in place and time. It is taking up space. And to be honest, it's not space that our learners have access to. So really considering the purpose of this piece of furniture and how it's taking up the space. Our teacher desks tend to act as a barrier, tends to have all of our stuff on it, and tends to be about, rather than, if we took away the teacher desk, creating a more welcome and approachable type situation. I would walk into my classrooms at the moment and I would be very hard to find my teachers, because I have to really look around the room. Where are they? Who are they working with? And where are they sitting? Also, taking away that teacher desk gives that message to our learners that this is our classroom. This is our learning environment and not mine. I am not the be all and end all and the expert and the owner of this space. It is their learning, their classroom, and their environment. Also, when we have a teacher desk, we tend to get tied to it. We tend to get really quite tied to a desk, which means we're not so active and we're not interacting with our children and our learners as much as possible. And to be honest, our technology now supports us. Our laptops can come with us. Our laptops, we can move anywhere. We can be sitting with anything. It also allows us, if we take away the teach desk, whether it be literally or metaphorically, helps us to engage more with our learners on the floor, working in small groups, walking in the students, actually seeing what it's like. I was in a classroom last week and I was sitting on the stools that the kids are sitting on. Oh my goodness, they are probably the most uncomfortable stool of all. So being able to actually live their life a little bit, I now have a little bit of empathy and perspective on their lives and how they go through there. And our learning spaces are becoming more and more agile and more flexible. So removing the teacher desk may provide a lot more flexibility for our learners and things there too. So those are just some of the ideas that I pulled for some research, things there. And again, it's just something to think about. And it's one thing that you can go through. Instead of the teacher desk, some people have teacher pods because that's where their technology is. And they just have that so it's where your computer connects to your your projector or your screen. So things like that. So again, just something for you to think about, that if we're thinking outside the box, I'm going to a more collaborative learning space. So our next provocation, and hopefully the breakout rooms, everyone's gone through those gremlins in the system now and know where they're going. Our next provocation is, what if we took away the student desks? Now, I don't mean that we take away all of the tables. I mean, but what if our children weren't just tied to their desk and there was opportunities and flexibilities, and as I mentioned before, more agile spaces for our learners to learn in. Okay, so this time your sharing will be on slides and I will add them to the chat room, or I'll ask my host to add them to the chat room now, and you will be able to access them. So again, we're going to send you out the breakout rooms. The protocols, we're not sure if you're going to end up in the same room or not, as people keep joining this breakout session or not. But again, 3 minutes focusing on the positives. What if we took away those children's desks? You know, when I mean that, I mean one student, this is my desk. What if we had flexible seating, flexible spaces, and flexible areas for learning? Then switch your conversation, the 3 minutes, changing to a more critical lens for the black hat. Oh, it seems my hats have slipped there. And then the final 2 minutes, and we'll try and give you a broadcast there, to take some time on the 2 links to document your thoughts and thinking for the yellow hats or the breakout things there. So we're going to, if we can please organize the breakout rooms again, and hopefully they'll be sweet. Remember to be brave. This is an interactive conversation. So turn your cameras on so people can see you. Turn your microphones on so you can have these chats. And as you head to your breakout rooms, I will add the links to the chat now for you.
Hi, Tanya, you will need to put it before we join the breakout room. Otherwise, we don't have access to
yes,
the chat.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me do that now for you.
Thank you.
And there. Thank you very much for your patience. Okay. All right. Host, can we send the breakout rooms off? Is that okay? I can see 33 people are waiting. So the question is, what if we took away the student desks? And when I say not necessarily just the furniture, but actually also provided flexible seating, flexible ways of doing that too. Right. Kalpita, can you organize the breakout rooms? Is that all right?
Yes. I'm just starting. Sindhujal helping. There are many new people.
Can I help by assigning? Do I have that power?
Yeah, you can do that. You can also do that.
They can join to the same breakout room.
They can join the same breakout room actually. Let me see.
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah, you can.
Kalpita,
Please
you just
join.
press on the icon of the join breakout room.
Yeah, we can.
Ah,
Join the room.
Yeah.
you're all experts. Well done. Excellent. This is what our learners have been going through for a year.
on that option of breakout room.
Hi.
Hi, I haven't received the option of breakout room on my screen.
Me too. Me too.
Yes,
I have.
even-
I have also not received any.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even I have not received that.
Even I have not received.
Even I have not received.
Yes, even me.
You will have to open the breakout rooms for everyone to be reassigned to the same room. It'll ask you to
Well,
open
actually, if you click on the breakout rooms, it will give you an option to join the same room which you were assigned previously. Just click on the breakout room and it will appear, a text box would appear, which will have the same room that you had earlier joined.
Hi, sorry, my members left. I was the only one in the breakout room. So come back to the main session, if that's okay.
Same here, even my members had left, so I had to come back, and I'm not able to find now where to join.
Yeah, we are assigning new members now. Just
There's no one in my breakout room, so I had to come back to the session.
same here, no members in the breakout room.
Hello, this is Anu from Meridian School, Banjara Hills.
Are we in breakout room?
Hi.
Yeah.
Because I still have the same room number 6, but there's nobody.
Just check. Sometimes people are camera off and video off, but we are.
No, there's nobody.
Hi, this is Maria. I'm in the room with you, but we just finished one session in room number 14. And I said, leave the breakout and come back to the meeting. I don't know what has happened. Is this the second breakout room?
Yeah, that's what we did. We just finished our meeting at room 27.
We are back into the meeting, right?
Are we back into the meeting now, or is this a breakout room?
Yes, we are back in the main room.
Is this the main room? Is this the main room?
I think so. I think they will just have to wait for everybody to get
Because
back.
I just received one Google form of yellow
Right.
mask. I just completed that. So what's about that one?
Okay, so we're all back now. So there seems to be it's more about the issues of how breakout rooms work and people going through there. So my host, darling, where are you? If you have already been in a breakout room, when you hover over the top of it, you can choose to join that one. If you go into a breakout room, there's no one yet there, give them a chance. We have 400 people online and we are assigning them to things there, or you can come back in. It is going to be okay. We just have to have a little bit of patience with the system and things there. Kalpita, do you have a lesson? People said they could hover over the breakout room and choose to go back into the room that they were in before.
Yeah, so I have a few people who I have to assign. Rest of them can go to their own rooms.
Okay, so they have that power, do they?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right, so can you assign, we go through the next bit, and then hopefully by the stage time we're ready, everyone will have a room and be able to engage in conversation. Is that all right?
Nobody.
Okay, we're all back in the main room now. So we're all back here. All right, we are all back here now. All right, so I'm just going to move on and share our slides. I can see people have been on the slides, so thank you for your thinking. And we're going to go through them. All right. So this is some of the research from John Thurberg, and he's an Australian, and he was looking at flexible. He was looking at flexible seating and the different areas and learning spaces that we needed in our classrooms. Right? So he has the campfire. Now the campfire is a space for our learners where people gather. People gather around the campfire to sit together, to listen to each other and to learn from storytellers. So he was saying in our learning environments, we need a space that is for our campfires. We also need watering holes, which are informal spaces where friends can come together in small groups. So that might be our small cohorts or our inquiry groups or interest groups, but they need the space as well as the opportunity to go to the watering hole for those purposes. We also have the caves, and the caves are private spaces when I want to work on my own, when I need to focus, when I need to be away from people and away from distractions, where I can focus on a certain task and I can work independently without without distractions. Also then, others have managed to the swamp. Now the swamp is a bit sticky and a bit mucky and this is where you go to if you're stuck on a task or a concept. You need to meet with a group with an expert. So a swamp doesn't necessarily mean to be a place, it could be a time. So I could go to the swamp. I say, I can see you're all sticky, we're going to move over here and form a swamp. And the last one would be our planes. And the planes is when everyone is spaced out and everyone is working independently and they have a choice of where they are in their learning. So we have here some visuals of a variety of learning spaces, and their variety is in their seating, but also in the options they have for collaboration, the options of how they use their time and where they go and when, and really all designed with a flexible opportunity for our learners and for the learning that is going on too. So here is one of our grade 1 spaces. This is what we call our town hall. And there are small little tables here to support those that want to sit on the floor. There are bean bags that can be dragged and moved around, and often the kindergarteners and the grade 1s will actually find the smallest corner they can and hide themselves in there with their bean bags because that's where they feel secure with their learning. But everything is on wheels. There is no, apart from the pillars, nothing is fixed. Walls and doors are all movable because we want flexibility. We want to be able to adapt and adjust our learning spaces for our learners as their need would be. And as you see, there are some tables and things in the back here, but no one has a fixed space. Now, that's not to say that some of those children don't love that routine and structure. And I certainly do have a number of students that they feel very comfortable in this particular space and they almost make it their own little cubby and things there. This is again, a learning space with a little bit more of flexibility and flow. Again, we've got some soft cushions here around a table where we could have a small cohort and maybe a conference with a teacher. There's lots of floor space. Furniture is adaptable and adjusted. This wonderful little tent here is a perfect cave situation for those learners that want their time to go through things there. Oh. This one, sorry, it's a bit fuzzy, which obviously it's giving me a warning. Lots and lots of alternatives here for our learners. They've got places they can sit on the floor. They've got cushions. They can sit at a desk if they want to. Things can be moved. And I think that's the idea, that there is options. There are options for our learners and for ourselves. Would I be comfortable sitting on the floor all day or in a beanbag? Certainly not. But our learners may be. And I often find my own teenager upside down with his iPad because that apparently is how he is comfortable learning. So it is all about the learner and providing those options there. All right. So that is about really having those opportunities for a different way to learn, on different seating. But this is still 4 walls. This is still a classroom. And if I go back here, there are still walls there and there's still a classroom. If I go back here, we have a town hall. Is it going to go back for me? We have a town hall, but really we are still stuck in our classrooms because our walls are so rigid. So is this one going to load for me? No, that's okay. So the next one was, and this is where we go into that conversation, that what if, that thinking outside the box about collaborative learning spaces. What if we took down the walls? What if we didn't have 4A and 4B? What if we didn't have Miss Tanya's classroom and Miss Kalpita's classroom? What if we actually had spaces where we could truly collaborate? So before we go into the next breakout room, and we will be using Padlet, and again, there's a yellow one, and I'll ask our host to add the link to our chat there for you. Before we go into Padlet, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an example if we go through there. So this is our traditional classroom structure. Here we have 22, because that's our 22 learners who are the circles, one teacher per classroom. They are stuck there in, let's say, 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D, or 3 blue, 3 purple, 3 green, and 3 aqua. They are stuck there, 22 children with the same children every day, all year long, and with the same teacher, the same adult. That is our traditional classroom. Okay. There is very little chance to collaborate with others in the other classes at the moment, unless the teacher explicitly plans it, and it happens not as often as we would like. Our student friendships and socializations are pretty much managed by the 22 children that they are put with at the beginning of the year, because pretty much that's where they spend all the time. And when they go to music and to PE and to art and to languages and to any other specialists that we might have, they are with the same people all the time as they go through. Sometimes, and this is just the way of the world, sometimes those social emotional connections don't happen. You know, maybe the student doesn't connect with their teacher and they're with them all year round. So we've lost the opportunity for those social emotional connections to be rich and to be valuable for the learner. Okay, so what if we think about a studio style where we have 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, whatever we may be calling them, looking like this. So we have adults all over the room, and we have small groups of students, and you can see the mix of colors there. We have a couple working on their own, and we have broken down the walls. We have broken down that construct of the traditional classroom. And as learning through the day happens, we have students coming in and joining different teachers. We have students leaving because they might have gone to visit one of the other experts in the building. We have others coming in to then work with partnerships. We have more people joining the group. Students are fluid, access, things there. So working with a more studio style, a more collaborative style, it gives our learners access to different teachers at different times. And it's based on their needs. And they have that agency to be able to choose who they might go to when they need help or who they best learn with. We are blessed in our setting. We have wonderful teacher assistants. And one of our teacher assistants, Miss Ha, is a magician with maths learning. She just has a way of explaining maths that the children understand and really engage with. So she is often the choice when someone is stuck and in that swamp and needs some support. They will go to Miss Ha. If we had that traditional construct, they may have missed that opportunity to be able to connect with her. The opportunity of having small cohorts, maybe 5 or 6 children fluidly, who may all have the same interests or the same needs, allows us as teachers to give increased focus to those individuals and their learning needs. It also allows our students to interact across the grade. So instead of now having 22 different social connections and people to learn from and learn with, I now have 88, which is an absolute wonderful, and to be honest, that reflects the real world. We can organize some cohort groups ourselves as teachers because we have recognized that we have a certain group of learners that need some extra support. It might need that actually, I would like to meet the 6 of you for our reading group, but actually reading is my passion. So actually I'm going to take the reading groups, and we know that is contagious, and we know we learn best off people who are passionate about their thing. So we're ensuring that we have people like with like to go through that. All right, so Kalpita, do you think we're ready? Have we got everybody in breakout rooms now? I think it will be a little bit smoother this time.
Tanya, the Black Hat link for the Padlet isn't working.
Okay, I will fix that. Thank you. All right.
I have assigned everybody to the room, but they have to join, because if they don't join, I get the message not joined. So again, I have to reassign. So please see if your message on the breakout rooms, and please join the breakout session. Padlet link, again, we will put it on the chat box.
Same room, right? I'm sorry, but I have yet not received the notification to join the breakout room, ma'am.
Same here. Same here. I've not received it.
I think we can join the same room.
Same
Yes, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, please join the same room because some of you are in the original room as well.
But how do we get into the
Sorry,
same
can you
room?
just repeat the next question which you have asked?
What if there are no walls?
Okay.
Sorry, yes. What are there no walls? Thank you very much.
Thank
I was
you. Thank
waiting
you.
for that.
How do we
join the same room?
How do we join the same room?
Could be
We can be here only. If we have to join the same room, we can, I mean, the rooms are not allotted to us, then we can be in the main room
So
only.
it is saying that the host has opened the breakout room, but please wait to be assigned.
There is a button down which
there is a
says join
button
breakout room. Just click on it and you'll go to your original room again.
That's what I was about to add. Thank you.
Where is it? Join breakout room where you have your reactions right down.
Okay.
So just click on that. Your same original room will get displayed.
All right. Thank you.
You may need to hit more and see them more.
But I don't see any breakout rooms in the down button. I'm not seeing any reactions
Yeah,
also.
so once the breakout rooms are opened by the host, which means you have to come back to the main room. So
The Padlet link for Black Hat is not open.
I've just sent you a new link to be able to do that.
Thank you so much.
Actually, in our breakout room, there are only 3 people. So
That's okay. You can still have a conversation with 3 people.
yeah, that's what we are doing. I was
Great.
wondering if we could get more people.
Don't worry, we will manage that.
I'm not able to join the breakout room, room number 9. I was there and I was the last person to come out. I'm trying to find out, but I'm not able to join.
No worry. I think we can have our one small breakout here also, Tanya, because if many of them are here. We can do that. We can do the discussion here. You're most welcome.
Same with me. I'm not able to locate the breakout room, ma'am. Just so sorry about this. Can I join somebody from here? Is it possible?
Sure, you can chat with me. I'm just trying to make sure.
Excuse me,
So
ma'am.
what would be the positives apart from the ones I've already mentioned? What would be the positives of taking the walls down?
It definitely will, I think, contribute a lot more to the children's social skills in terms of interacting with other peers. That would definitely be a very big plus. It would widen the learning pool, which would be also, a multivarious approach from different perspectives. It will throw together a lot of learners who are at different levels, which may form collaborations where they can learn from each other, which I think is the best way to do it, because coming from their own peers, they tend to absorb it a lot more, and they tend to react to it a lot more positively. Than it feels less instructional and more like a discussion when it comes from their own peers. So that, I think, would be my 3 positives if walls were taken down. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, you just said there, really resonate. It stops being so instructional and starts being more personalized.
Yes.
Aligned to the needs of the learner there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's turn that. What would be the negatives? What would be the black hat thinking there?
Yeah, actually, I would like to add on here. I was just thinking because I have a student in my class who's just scared of many people. So the more number of people he sees in the class, he gets silent and he doesn't share his views. So keeping such children in mind, then it may be a weakness.
Yeah, so that could be a positive for him because he has that flexibility of being able to move in other places and work on his own. But it also could be, there'd be a lot of noise. So that could be a negative for him. So if we're starting to black hat thinking, then the noise level could be a thing there. Fantastic, cool. What other black hat situations?
This is Vinuta here.
I was thinking about how will the facilitators be able to track the progress of the child if it's going to be a space like this. I mean, we have to think of have proper structure in place so that the more freedom, the more responsibility for the facilitator there. So
I would like to just add another point. This is Maria. In terms of delivery of content, how do we ensure equitable delivery of content? How do we focus in a larger group on children who may require a little more one-on-one? Do we, how does that happen without some students getting left behind and the ones who are a little more competent taking the center stage? So that would be one of my main concerns. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that all of those are very true. So it does not just require us thinking differently into structure, but also our pedagogy and our belief on our roles as teachers. And like someone just mentioned there, and timetables. So nothing's in isolation. There's a number of situations there.
We have young learners who kind of require familiarity in terms of going into a class. It kind of provides a safe haven for them. So that's one of the negative things that I find. But on the flip side, I find that when you open up, you are easily able to differentiate your learners very, very quickly. For those who are more adventurous, those who need help. So somebody pointed out that assessing such children or guiding such children, actually it kind of very quickly tells you what kind of learners you have in class if you just take down the walls.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're going to close all the rooms and bring everyone else back. Okay.
I would like to add a final point to this, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to, everyone's waiting. I've got 300 people waiting to come back.
Okay.
So here we go. There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We had a little discussion here and I can see some thoughts there. There are definitely pluses and minuses to this. I think the biggest takeaway that maybe we came up with our discussion, oops, why am I sharing my screen, is that it's not just one thing. If we're actually deciding to take these walls down, actually that's going to impact pedagogy. That's also going to impact timetables. That's also going to impact our teachers. And we have to consider all of our learners. So we had a really nice discussion there, and that it's not just that isolation, but if we're making these changes, we do have multiple things to consider. All right, just sharing my screen with you again now. So this is a very short clip, and this is from 2010. You may have seen it before. We're not going to watch the whole thing. It's just a little one here. Now we said radical. This is a radical idea. This is a kindergarten in Japan as we go through. And the man that presenting is actually the architect. He is not the educator. He is the architect, but he talks about these children in Japan here for you.
The garden is completely open most of the year. And there is no boundary between inside and outside. So it means basically this architecture is roof. And also there is no boundary between classrooms. So there is no acoustic barrier at all. You know, when you put many children in a quiet box, some of them get really nervous. But in this kindergarten, there is no reason they get nervous because there is no boundary. And the principal says, if the boy on the corner don't want to stay in the room, we let him go. And he'll come back eventually because the circle comes back. But the point is, you know, in that kind of occasion, usually children try to hide somewhere. But here, just they leave and they come back. It's a natural process. And secondly, we consider noise is very important, right? And you know that children sleep better in noise. They don't sleep in quiet space. And in this kindergarten, these children show amazing concentration in the class. And you know that, you know, we are the kind grown up in jungle with the noise. They need noise And you can talk to your friends in a noisy bar. You're not supposed to be in silence. And these days we are trying to make everything under control. It's completely open. And you should know that we can go to ski in minus 20 degrees in the winter. In summer, you go for swimming. The sun is 50 degrees. We are the kind. And also you should know that you are waterproofed. You never get melt in rain. So children were supposed to be outside. So that is how we should treat them. And this is how they divide the classrooms. They were supposed to help teachers. They don't. I didn't put him in. And the classroom and the wash basin, they talk each other around the well.
Okay, so you can have a look. There's wonderful kindergarten in Tokyo. They've got more radical ideas going on there. It is a wonderful learning environment for KG and all built around trees, things like that. So we are, Kavita's just given me a little bit of a time. Right, so we're going to move on to our next provocation. Move on, sir. Thank you. Next one is, what if we had multi-age classrooms? Now that's to say that we had possibly grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4 together within one classroom, or we have 7 and 8. And this is very real. This happens very much as a part of what we do in New Zealand and Australia. I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure why we embrace it so much and others that have not meant this. So if we had multi-age classrooms, we had that, and we're going to use this thing called Miro here. So Miro is new. We are going to, it's only one conversation this time. If your room is an even number, you are a yellow hat thinker. You are all positive. If your room is an odd number, you are, you are a black hat thinker. And so you have really got the critical lens to go on. So I'm just going to come out of my presentation to show you, to show you how to use Miro. So here is Miro here. My even number rooms are here too. Can we see that? We okay? I have already set it up for your room. So it should be here. What if we had multi-age classrooms? I'll quickly change that. Oops, can't type. And you would find your room number. So here is room number 8, and you have some space to type here. But if you wanted to add more, you just press the plus. Otherwise, I can just type within this box here. If you want an extra arrow here, I've got more than 6 ideas. If you hover over room 8, you will see a plus here, and you will be able to add. And you can zoom in and zoom out as much as you like. So you can just focus on your room, or you can see the answers coming in from everybody else. So I'm going to ask our host to send us to our breakout rooms, and we are going to now share the links within the chat. I go down through. And this will be our last breakout room for today, because I want to make sure that we do have enough time for questions and answers there. So as I just get the links for you and share them in the Zoom. Sorry, and I lost all my Zoom stuff. I've lost my Zoom. My Zoom things have gone.
Yeah, it's already shared on the chat box.
It is already shared on the chat box. Brilliant. Okay, so if we can head off, we've got 8 minutes, because I do want to leave time for your questions and answers, and we will miss the idea.
Just one announcement: if you can't go in your breakout room, you can stay in the main room, and you can still use the Miro link here to put your thoughts on.
It asks for a suggested password.
Say that for me again.
You have to sign up in Miro.
Yeah, I think we'll have to sign up using our
for a password, a suggested password.
Oh, I can see people on it already. So people are there already.
You can sign up through Google using your Gmail ID. So you can just log in through Google if that works for you.
To be honest, it's the conversation that's important, not necessarily the documentation. We can come back through and add the documentation later. But let's just focus on the breakout rooms and the conversation. And if we are struggling with the documentation of the conversation, that's absolutely fine. Anyone still here? Can't get into a room?
I'm still here.
55 still waiting. Hi, Padma. So let's talk. Pick a number, any number. Pick a number.
2.
Okay, so we're even. So we're going to talk about positives. So what would be the positives for a multi-age classroom? And I'm going to keep an eye on the time because we have to be back with everyone else. Yeah.
Great.
What would be the positives, do you think?
I think there's a lot of peer learning that's going to happen when there is multi-age grouping.
Yep. Yeah. With older children supporting younger children.
Yeah, student mentors are the best. I think they learn better from student mentors.
And we know that one 3-year-old is not the same as another. You know, a sibling, a younger sibling, or an early child, you have different experiences.
So the skill level will enhance a lot.
Yep, absolutely. Yes. Okay, remember we're all positives. We're not going to the negative this time around. We're positives. What else could support our children? The friendships are older than mentoring, not just in the class, but also in the playground and in the bus and in the community. And our big people becoming heroes because they're more capable.
For me, maybe they will feel more responsible because they're playing a role of leader or maybe a friend and guide. So they'll be more responsible for their role.
Yeah.
I have personally experienced this because the children who are teaching younger children tend to be more authoritative. They tend to introspect about their learning because they need to give it to somebody else. So they tend to introspect about what they're saying and whether the information is correct, which is a great thing because in a normal environment where everybody is of the same age group, that really there's not a lot of opportunity for that.
Yeah, they have the same experience instead of diverse experience. I mean, all the conversation around the world about diversity is fantastic. Yeah.
I think for the multilingual students, I think it's going to be greatly helpful because then they will be able to converse in their mother language, which will enhance their learning. And I also witnessed that when we had this multi-level learning, the grade 3 kids went into the early years thinking that they will be able to teach so much to the early years, but in fact they came back thinking that they learned so much from the early years which they hadn't learned, like mathematical skills, basic skills. So I think it's a vice versa learning there.
Yeah. And our older ones can forget how to play, so they're reminded of. Fantastic, lots of great ideas there. If one of you has a chance, let's add some thinking tomorrow. But I'm going to close the rooms now and bring everyone back so we get a chance for questions and answers. Thank you for all your thinking. That was lovely. All right, rooms back and bring everyone back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Well, we had a great conversation there. We were focusing on the yellow hat, and there was a lot of positives that we came up with, which our team are now going to add to the Miro for you. I just want to say thank you. I know we've had some glitches with tech and trying to work out. As I said, this was a little ambitious. And that's okay, but it's the discussions and the connections that you're having, and I'm certainly having great conversations with people that is important. We can collate and bring those, that evidence and things back later here. So multi-age classrooms, here is a very short video. I might be pushing time here. And I might skip the video and go to the interview. So let's go to the interview. I will include the video if you want to watch it when I share my slides with you all later. So my sister is an incredible practitioner. I'm working currently in New Zealand, and she has grades 6, 7, and 8. And I called her and said, look, you talk to me from your context. In reality, what are the yellow hat, black hat? She was on camp, so she took her time out, not just to think about herself, but also from her students. So with her yellow hat thinking, she said, basically, as we said, learning's not linear. So if we're placing them by age, that, you know, really why, and very much Sir Ken Robinson, why are we sticking with that? If we're multi-age, we have a greater range of people to collaborate with different levels of development and different skills there too. To be honest, it reflects life. You know, I certainly work with 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds all the way through. So it prepares us for life. There are role models within our environment and working with us, and they don't necessarily have to be the older ones. One of the ladies just shared that sometimes the younger ones are role models. In her context, the teacher stays for at least 2 years. So she would have taught grade 6. She teaches 6, 7, 8, and she would have seen those kids when they were 6, when they were 7, and 8. So 3 years of being able to build those relationships and really get to know those kids. It certainly helps them with resources. They work in a state school system, and therefore it balances those numbers off there. And it builds that community. Those things that we're always trying to do, have a house day or have a SAT day or things like that, they already have that. Students said that they loved having more people to mix with and a variety. And we just talked about diversity being really important in our conversations. The older ones love that responsibility and being able to guide the younger people and being able to support for them, and allows for greater collaboration. The only 2 black hats that the kids came up with is it can be a little bit repetitive at the beginning of the year as the grade 6s coming into are getting used to the routines and things there too. And that was really their only black hat as they came into it. So again, sometimes as teachers, we don't have these controls. We can't make these decisions, but it's certainly of a conversation. And we're having them as international schools as we're losing numbers because of COVID, that we could be having within our schools, that what if. So the what if thinking is really a provocation for you. There are possibilities out there, and there are schools out there that are doing this, that are making some of this happen, and we can be using them as evidence as we're presenting to our communities of the possibilities of this going through there. Our thinking will be documented on here, and I will make sure that you all get a summary of it so that we can share it and keep adding to it, because they are all open, and maybe you didn't get a chance to add things in there, but we all benefit from divergent thinking. We all benefit from that collective creativity. So thank you for those. I did see as we were going through lots of sharing on there. Some of the other questions you might consider with your communities: what about timetables? Why are we stuck with timetables? What if, and this is very much a big push at the moment, what if we included our student voices in the planning? What if we considered the different roles in the classrooms? One of my other questions for you was, what if we brought the specialists into the classrooms? What if we had the more Artilleista type model and brought those beautiful individuals who had those passions and expertise into our learning environments? What if we didn't have curriculum and standards and passion and interest drove our learning? What might we do with assemblies? You know, we tend to just do assemblies the same old way. I've been doing it since I was at school nearly 50 years ago. How might we think about our community interactions? We heard last night from Dipanshu that they've actually found some great ways to connect globally. And what about the time of the day we start school or how we attend school? There's lots of research there for our older students that they need sleep in the morning. So maybe those are some of the questions that we can continue to think about and get out of the box thinking. And what if we really committed to starting with the child and not with the structures and routines? What if we actually considered our practices and truly put our children at the center of all our discussions? As I said, I will make sure you get a copy of these slides for you to take back to your community and adjust and need as you want. And at the end of these, are some resources that I have been using to build these, but I will be adding more for you to be able to use. So thank you. Kalpita, do you want to have we got time for questions? I'm sorry, I realized that with the tech glitches we did, maybe we are cutting it fine.
So we have only 5 minutes. We can take a couple of questions. If you have any question, please put it on the chat box.
And I just want to thank everyone for your tolerance of technology and me trying to really ensure we were as interactive as possible. Sorry, I can't hear. I can hear someone talking, but I can't actually hear what's being said, what's being asked.
Can you please use the chat box to type your question?
Kalpita, could you hear the question? I'm sorry, I can't hear.
No, I think that was a bad network. Even I couldn't hear. I think we don't have time, Tanya, because we are running short of next session also. But thank you so much. I think it was an interactive and very powerful session to push our thinking to what if. And I like the biggest takeaway for me is what if we think all the time and keep our learners in the center of whatever we do. So that is the what if. We will take it forward. I would like, if anybody wants to share their last takeaway for, just unmute yourself and talk about your takeaway, one takeaway from this session and your what if.
Can I go ahead?
Hi, Karishma. Yes, go. You have your hand up.
Yes. I think it was a fantastic session. In fact, in our school, we have been talking about these methods and, how can we make it more authentic and collaborative and, the new age learning. And I think it was a fantastic session to hear other perspectives and ideas. Also, if we can answer a question, I would like you to guide us. How can we make our learning more collaborative across the grades, especially in early years?
Okay. Why don't you email that one to me? You've got my email address or Twitter, and we can connect and have a deeper conversation. I think that's more than just a sentence.
Sure, that'll be great. Thank you so much.
Tanya, is there any feedback for link? Or is there any link for the feedback?
That people are just adding to the chat at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have to ask one question. I do have a question to ask.
I think rest we are going at 12:14, 12:15.
Thank you for the session. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for introducing some of the new ways of connecting with the students. I really appreciate. Thank you.
Tanya, there's a small question. We have got rid of the structured seating arrangements. We do a lot of collaborative work. The children move around. Of course, being virtual, we have a lot of whole class. But my question to you is, Tanya, if we don't have timetables, how do you bring in the experts into the sessions? Like if you have creative arts, then how do you timetable them? Because that is one question because we've been talking about not having timetables. Have you done it in your school?
Yes, we have. So we don't have time. We have in one grade, not timetables, but we have those experts either come into the studio at certain times. So the specialists have timetables, but the students don't. And then the students know when those people will be in the studio or the space, or they have a copy of that teacher's timetable and will make an appointment. Same as if I was coming to, to go and visit my marketing department, I would send them a message, make an appointment, and go and see them. It doesn't work in all environments, and we have to protect them because they've got 900 children to support. But there are creative ways. And to us, just start one grade at a time, or one class at a time, or think. The other thing is that person can also upskill our teachers. So we all have hidden talents.
Thank you, Tanya.
All right.
I just want to add one last line for this session. So maybe it's a sense of this session. When you care, you share.
Absolutely. And when you share, you care. Other way around too.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you all, and namaste. And thank you for your patience. Thank you for your engagement and your interactions, and for all your thinking. Please do keep trying to change the world. Our learners deserve it. Please do. And good luck.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya, so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya, ma'am. Thank you, Tanya. That was wonderful. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Tanya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.